Hello, everybody. Okay. Thank you for coming. I first want to thank John Stoner and Joe Jennings, who are leaders of the Buckeye State Council of Vietnam Veterans of America, for being here today. Joe and John represent a truly legitimate and good nonprofit group that helps veterans. The group I'm here to talk about, though, we believe is not. The U.S. Navy Veterans Association is a group that claims to be a legitimate charitable organization. However, we have every reason to believe now that it is a phony outfit that is simply using the good name of our armed forces and veterans organizations in order to cheat Ohioans and other patriotic Americans. Several other states are investigating this organization as well. Our most recent action is building off of a cease and desist order we filed against this organization last month. Through its counsel, the organization has told us that they would not abide by our cease and desist order. As a result, we have now filed suit and asked for temporary restraining orders against this organization that will allow us to seize any contributions made to the U.S. Navy Veterans Association as they arrive at 2 different UPS boxes in Ohio, one in Cincinnati, one in Lancaster. If we determine there are any other drop boxes in the state, we will file to secure those as well. We know that the U.S. Navy Veterans Association has a large footprint in Ohio and has raised a considerable amount of money from Ohioans. From July 2003 to July 2009, it appears that professional charitable solicitors have raised about $1.9 million on behalf of the U.S. Navy Veterans Association directly from Ohioans. That means we needed to take further action to make sure that this organization could not exploit anyone else. The U.S. Navy Veterans Association, we now know, has provided us with false and misleading information on its charitable registration documents. We found numerous violations of the state's registration requirements. Those include listing a UPS mailbox as the organization's principal place of business, failing to provide phone numbers for the organization's offices, failing to provide addresses for directors, trustees, and executive personnel. Additionally, investigators in our charitable law section have been unable to locate any of the 3 people listed on the registration documents as having final responsibility for the custody of contributions in Ohio. The addresses listed for these individuals are all UPS mailboxes. The phone numbers listed are all cell phones that connect to the same voicemail box for the U.S. Navy Veterans Association. As far as we know, the 3 people listed do not exist. This mirrors recent reporting on the association by the St. Petersburg Times in Florida. The Times found that of 85 association officials listed on forms submitted to the IRS, the newspaper could find only 1 of those listed, only 1 person who appeared to actually exist, a man named Bobby Thompson. Thompson and a political action committee he apparently set up, called the U.S. Navy Veterans Good Government Fund, or NAVPAC for short, has given hundreds of thousands of dollars to political candidates over the past several years. That includes several Ohio candidates. We understand that Thompson has now disappeared and is on the lam. Some public officials in Virginia have already been refunding contributions from this group. Although there are several unanswered questions still lingering about this group, Ohio candidates and office holders should consider the legitimacy of any contributions, political contributions they've received from this group. The closer we look at this organization, the more outrageous its conduct appears. The evidence is mounting that the association is misrepresenting its mission. It is trading on the good name of our armed forces and patriotic Americans to solicit funds that it says will be used to assist veterans directly. Instead, we have reason to ask whether some of those funds are actually going to political campaigns. If the U.S. Navy Veterans Association is indeed a legitimate organization, we invite its leaders to step out of the shadows. Until they do, our duty to the people of Ohio is to take every action we can against this organization so that it can no longer deceive generous Ohioans and tar reputable veterans organizations. I just want to tell Ohioans that when we identify this sort of behavior, we're going to confront it aggressively. I will do everything in my power to make sure that veterans and generous Ohioans are not exploited on my watch. I would also like to say to Ohioans out there, please spread the word. Tell your friends and family. We want all Ohioans to know not to contribute to the U.S. Navy Veterans Association. I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.